Warriors! Good morning and happy Thursday. My name is Coach JB. I am the top health and mindset coach in the world. What you believe in your heart, you think in your mind will eventually become your words and become your reality. I bring you information to show you the game so you can be played. As there's a pandemic going on this way, there's a whole nother narrative happening this way. And it's happening rapidly, Warriors. 10 years of forward growth to me is being crunched into about 12 months to 24 months. And the biggest shift in generational wealth is happening right now. So one thing I always say is don't believe a word I say. What I'm trying to do, what I'm working to do, is to get you to fish, to get out your fishing pole and get you to critically think. Well, the beautiful thing is it's working. I'm getting thousands of pieces of information per week from warriors all over the world that are opening up their mind and awareness. Now, this is not about protesting. It's not about picking sides, left or right, Democrat, Republican, up, down, left, right. That's what they want us to do. They want us to fight against each other. They don't want us to come together in one union to raise our internal vibration and open up our mind and awareness to be able to find our way to the uncommon 1%. They don't want that, warriors. They want us confused. They want us in a jar. They want to shake us up, and they want us fighting against each other. All I'm here to do is share some information with you guys, get you to critically think. Now, I'm heavily vested in cryptocurrency. I love cryptocurrency. My history is I was a banker for 12 years. I was an executive banker. I left to start a Warrior Academy to teach people mind, body, immunity, and how to build an infrastructure that could create generational wealth for a lifetime, bringing the money back to the people and helping people with God's money. I'm a believer in God. I love the life of Jesus Christ. Non-religious. I love God. I believe in a higher power, and I try to follow as close as I can the life of Jesus Christ, helping people, helping the earth. Is it a perfect program? Am I a perfect person? Absolutely not, nor will I ever be, but I'm here to help as many people as possible while I'm here on earth. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I want to have some fun with you guys. So there's a lot of news out there, guys. The narrative is moving fast and furious. So I'm going to bring you the news, and I'm going to share with you my opinion on it. Now I want to show you this really cool, what are they called? Memes, right? That was sent over to me by one of my warriors. Now there couldn't be more truth to this. Now I hope this doesn't get my account shut down, because when you say certain things, you have to think about that for just a moment, warriors. Let's just rationalize something for just a moment. Take out politics completely. Take out politics completely. The President of the United States accounts got banned, social media accounts. Take out politics. Think about that. Think about that. The President of the United States social media account, it doesn't matter what you believe, if he was right or wrong. If you think he was wrong with what he said, that's not freedom of speech. So just rationalize that for a moment. If his accounts got shut down, what information are you getting? So there's only one truth? No. Everybody's right. So think about that. What you believe is your truth. You have to really think about that. So what information are you getting? But this is this is very, very powerful. These are the most powerful companies in the world, the two most powerful banks in the world. And we have to think for just a moment. What did Warren Buffett do just recently? He closed out of almost all of his bank stocks. He increased his position in Bank of America by 10%. In my paradigm, have my crystal ball and what I think is happening. Remember, we're all speculating. They are connected to Ripple, and I believe that Ripple, the whole political narrative that's going on, that Ripple is going to be, XRP, is going to be a bridge currency for the world. That is my opinion based on my knowledge in banking, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. But today I'm going to talk about some news. This is kind of cool, but this is if they were honest with us. You know, you got the family here. I can't even say the family. You know, the news stations, oil companies. You got these are the two most powerful banks in the world, okay? So that's a little bit of fun. So thank you for sending that over to me. You know who you are. Appreciate you. All right, so let's jump right into it. There's a lot of stuff going on, Warriors. So if you look at this, okay. So now OCC Chief Brian Brooks is stepping down Thursday. So think about this. That's today, okay? So Brian Brooks is stepping down. Now, I've taken you guys down the rabbit hole how I connect the dots and do my investments. Brian Brooks was a top legal counsel for Coinbase, okay? Coinbase is one of the top cryptocurrency exchanges. Now, we have to understand, too, how this is all playing out. The banks, commercial banks, remember, Chase now banks Coinbase. The commercial banks want a piece of this pie. The central banks are trying to get us closer to them. Remember, the central banks fund the commercial banks, right? So you have the Federal Reserve, the central banks, the money flows through them, right? And so the central banks want us closer to them. So most countries are creating what's called a CBDC, a central bank digital currency. Now, America is the reserve currency for the world. We are the powerhouses. Some of the other countries are moving quickly to a CBDC, or it seems quickly, but it's been worked on for a while, right? China specifically is about to launch their CBDC. That's a central bank digital currency, which is a blockchain, right? Now, do you think for just a moment, with that picture I showed you in the beginning, that these elite banks, these elite companies, these elite people in the world, the top 1% of the world, are just going to give up their power? Absolutely not. They're going to get a piece of the pie. Now, you have to understand, Warriors, in my paradigm, they have been creating this behind the scenes for a long time, and they're making it look like this public sector thing when they were part of the infrastructure. Remember, MIT in 1996 was already working on cryptocurrency protocols. Bitcoin was created around 2000, or was launched around 2008, 2009 after the financial crisis, and more money has been printed since the inception of Bitcoin. Think about that. More money has been printed in the inception of Bitcoin, probably knowing that it was coming to this point right here, and you're just experiencing it. You're just experiencing the whole system, okay? So let's break this down. So OCC Chief Brian Brooks is stepping down on Thursday. Acting comp control of the currency, Brian Brooks, will be stepping down on January 14th, he confirmed Wednesday. Everybody's freaking out. Brian Brooks is crypto friendly. He came from the crypto space. Whereas these moves are happening methodically and very, very strategically. So Brian Brooks, who was named the temporary head of the Office of Comp Currency Control (OCC) last summer, made the announcement official a day after he was rumored to be departing. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know he was temporary. Brian Brooks, who was named temporary head of the OCC of Currency of Comp Controllers last summer, made an announcement official that he's leaving on Thursday. His departure will come a day after the federal banking regulator, this is super important, granted crypto custody to Anchorage, a conditional trust charter, making the first crypto native national bank. Do you know what that means, Warriors? So right before his departure, Brian Brooks announces that Anchorage, okay, a cryptocurrency company, is a digital bank now. The first federally chartered digital bank. Now we have Kraken. You guys know that I used Kraken to move my XRP to. Now there's something you got to think about. This is all speculation, but this is my opinion, being an ex-banker. Now we have Anchorage. We have the first federally chartered digital bank. Think about that. Federally chartered. That's the government giving them permission, okay, to do cryptocurrency. That's powerful. That's huge. The whole narrative of your mom or dad saying cryptocurrency is a fraud, why would the OCC federally charter a cryptocurrency company to do digital currency as a bank? Okay, you have Kraken, the first cryptocurrency bank in America. They must not be federally chartered, but they are a cryptocurrency bank in America, and I believe that's in Wyoming. Don't quote me on that, but I think they're in Wyoming. Okay, so now Anchorage introduces the digital bank, the first federally chartered digital bank. Anchorage is pleased to announce that the OCC, basically Brian Brooks, has provided conditional approval to our application for a national trust charter, which make Anchorage Digital Bank National Association the first federally digital asset bank in history. We're in history. The biggest shift in generational wealth is happening right now. This is a major milestone, not only for us organizations, but also for the crypto industry and the wider financial world. Crypto deserves a bank, and we are immensely proud of being approved as one of this to set the standard. Anchorage Digital Bank, okay? So this is their website here, raising the bar for digital asset finance. Okay, so now that was freaking awesome. There's all this news happening. Brian Brooks is stepping down. He gets a bank federally chartered right before he leaves, right? And now the narrative that I've been talking about is starting, guys. I have said, now, I'm not against Bitcoin. Please know that. I'm not an XRP or Ripple Maximus. I talk a lot about XRP because I talk about things that I understand. I'm an ex-banker. I understand the solve that XLM and XRP does, right? I understand the solve. I was deep in banking. I know crypto at a deep level because I understand how banking works. I went through a school that helps you build banks from the ground up. And when I started realizing we're just printing money into infinity, I realized there's something wrong with the system. Okay, so that's why I left banking to create a Warrior Academy, not to talk about crypto. I had no interest in talking about crypto. I was doing my own thing. But I pray all the time, and God's like, share with the people what you're doing, and we did about 4 months ago, and here we are. So I'm just following guidance from a higher power, okay? So you can believe me or not, that's what it is, okay? If that turns you off, then probably not the right guy to follow. Okay, so now ECB, okay, Lagarde, so Christine Lagarde, there's key people you need to know. Christine Lagarde is calling regulators, call for regulating the Bitcoin funding business. Now, you may have seen this already. This came out yesterday. But this is important, Warriors. Do you remember the meme that I showed you in the beginning? Let me grab some water. The meme that I showed you in the beginning. Do you think for one moment, the richest people in the world are just going to let this thing Bitcoin just take over and be decentralized? Hell no. With Bank of America, one of the most powerful banks, HSBC, one of the most powerful banks, the Goldman Sachs, anything they touch is one of the most powerful things. There's no way they're just going to roll over. In my opinion, I think a government agency created Bitcoin. They're going to let some type of asset that we don't even know who created it. They're just going to let people buy and sell and trade that. I don't know. It feels weird to me. I'm not against Bitcoin. I hold Bitcoin. I have a very broad fundamental portfolio, Warriors. So I'm not against Bitcoin. But you have to listen to the words of the elites of the world. You have to. You're not making those decisions. I don't care how much if you hold 10 Bitcoins. You don't care if you care 1,000. You're not going to pull the trigger. You're not the one behind the scenes, the Wizard of Oz, hitting the hidden button. None of us know. We're all speculating. Every single one of us except the person that's actually making the decision. So ECB Lagarde calls for regulating Bitcoin funny business. European Central Bank President Christine Lagarde called on Wednesday for global regulation of Bitcoin, saying that digital currency has been used for money laundering activities in some instance, and it's a loophole that needs to be closed. Okay, so now this is just a big ass political theater, guys. This is okay. You got the SEC lawsuit for Ripple, okay, freaking you guys out, pushing you guys out of the marketplace. Okay, we had the Spark token launch. We have the case going down in February, the court case. Then we have March will be regulation, and then April they're going to launch the Spark token, and I believe everything's going to price appreciation is going to happen. They're starting the political theater, and I'm going to show you how I connect the dots. Okay, some of the biggest banks are starting to jump on board to start the regulation. Banks want a piece of this, Warriors. So listen to what she says.
It's a speculative asset by any account. I mean, when you look at the most recent developments upward and now the most recent downward trend, for those who had assumed that it might turn into a currency, terribly sorry, but this is an asset, and it's a highly speculative asset, which has conducted some funny business and some interesting and totally reprehensible money laundering activity. I think that there are criminal investigations that have taken place that I'm sure will continue to take place that demonstrate it very clearly. And there has to be regulations, and this has to be applied and agreed upon. It's a matter that needs to be agreed at a global level, because if there is an escape, that escape will be used. So I think it needs to be if anything, it shows that global cooperation, multilateral action is absolutely needed, whether it's initiated by the G7, moved into the G20, and then enlarged, but it's something that needs to be addressed, and FATF is clearly an organization that has expanded in that respect.
Okay, so this is super, super important words. Understand that the political theaters here, they are all talking behind the scenes. Don't think that Christine Lagarde isn't communicating with the American banks. Don't think that Chinese banks aren't competing with Japanese banks and China's not communicating with America. Whereas we're just the little people sitting in the play. We're the puppets that are being moved around with this play, and that our money's being played with, Warriors. So you have to really understand this. Christine Lagarde is a president of the European Central Bank. She used to be part of the IMF, or ran the IMF, right? Okay, so let's go a little bit deeper here. So UK bans on crypto derivatives goes into effect today. Okay, this was January 6th. So these are just things you want to pay attention to. The Financial Conduct Authority, the FCA, bans on the sale of derivatives exchange, trade notes, ETNs, passed in October, went into effect Wednesday. So that's in the UK. I've had people in my Warrior Academy asking me, hey, what's going on? And this is what they were talking about here. Okay, one of the 6 world's largest banks is blocking Bitcoin transactions. According to the report published by the Times, HSBC opted to block deposits from digital wallets, with DeFi users having an alternative choice to draconian rules. HSBC has opted to block customers from banking crypto profits, according to the Times. Other UK banks prevented users from buying cryptocurrencies with credit cards. The UK is known for its strict stance against crypto. DeFi could be the solution for fighting against TradeFi's extreme measure. Did you guys watch the Flare Network video that I put out? Okay, so here's what I think is happening. Okay? Here's what I think is happening. So if they can't regulate Bitcoin, if they can't get to Bitcoin, what are they going to do? You regulate the user. So if you can't actually regulate the product, you regulate the person who's using the product. You need banks. This is the game that you need to understand. You need a bank. Why do you need a bank? Because what are you going to do when you keep your money under your mattress? What are you going to do when cash starts to go away? What are you going to do when we only accept exact change or we only accept debit cards? Think about that. Think about that. Dutch Bros, one of the biggest places, one of the biggest growing companies in America. I don't know if they're biggest, but they're huge in the West Coast. They don't accept cash anymore. Some of the biggest companies don't accept cash anymore because cash is dirty, right? Think about that. The feds weren't printing coins anymore, supposedly, and some banks are giving you money if you brought your coins in. Warriors, as the pandemic's this way, there's a whole nother narrative happening this way. Here's what I think is happening. They're ushering in regulation very, very quickly and efficiently. And I believe it's all been played out behind the scenes, play by play, chess piece by chess piece. And we all speculate. It's like, oh, they're doing this, they're doing this. Is all part of the announcements. Like, okay, announce this now, the SEC lawsuit. Okay, now Christine Lagarde, you talk about the Bitcoin's a fraud. We're back to Bitcoin's a fraud again. We're back to it again. What does that do? It scares the living shit out of investors. And you all run for the hills. They don't want you in their game, Warriors. They don't want you playing. They want you on the bench. As they're throwing touchdowns, they're celebrating behind the scenes, Warriors. That's what we mean by the biggest shift in generational wealth. So yes, they are going to regulate the shit out of this. You're not getting away from regulation. So if you're in crypto for decentralization, I think that's going to be done very, very soon, Warriors. That's just my opinion. I'm an ex-banker. I was deep in the banking rails. I understand how it works, Warriors. So you have to think about this for just a moment. Are you just going to sit back and watch the game play out? You can do that. Ignorance is bliss, right? Or you can start to fish, Warriors. You can start to fish for yourself. And you can start to understand that we are in historical times right now. We are in historical times, Warriors. So you have to look at the whole picture, right? Don't look at one piece of news. So obviously, I wait about 24 hours. I take a piece of news. Unless it's super, super critical, then I need to get out to you guys. You'll hear other YouTubers reporting this, and they're all fantastic. But what I do is I take the news and I connect the dots, right? Christine Lagarde, she's a big player in the banking industry, Warriors, in the financial industry. She's saying we're back to Bitcoin's a fraud. What does that mean? It means regulations coming in. They're using Ripple, the only company that met with the SEC every single month since their inception. They called it the banker coin. Well, guess what? It sounds like Bitcoin's going to be a banker coin too. If they're not going to allow it to be regulated, they're going to stop you from transferring it. That's just my opinion. That they're saying it right here in the UK, right? But you have to think about the narrative. Don't be scared of cryptocurrency. We have to go through this ecosystem. It's just like a butterfly that's in the cocoon. It has to go through a violent process to get out to become the butterfly. We're moving into a new asset class. It's called blockchain, cryptocurrency, Warriors. They were working on this since 1996. In 1971, the World Economic Forum was created. In 1971, we attached from the gold standard. America became a printing machine, a debt-based society. Basically, we need debt to survive. We can't do it anymore. Our GDP, gross domestic product, is worse than the Great Depression. We are in a very critical stage right now, Warriors. But don't worry, they have it all planned out behind the scenes, and you're going to get left behind. You're going to get left behind, Warriors. So the whole narrative that cryptocurrency is a fraud, that's a narrative she's putting out there, Warriors. The elites are invested in cryptocurrency. The elites are invested in Bitcoin. Think about that. PayPal allows you to buy and sell Bitcoin. They're trying to mess with your brain. They're trying to get you out of the asset class. So don't believe the hype, Warriors. You have to listen to your gut. And you do that through meditation, breathing, high-intensity training, educating yourself, and making informed decisions based on a sound gut, sound mind, and healthy body, Warriors. That's how you do your true investing. And when you decide, you commit, you stay focused on the fundamentals, Warriors. So my name is Coach JB. I am the top health and mindset coach in the world. What you believe in your heart, you think in your mind will eventually become your words and become your reality. All the details are down in the description below. You can join our free Facebook group or you can join our Warrior Academy where we talk about mind, body, immunity, 120-day challenge. You work out with us live daily. We do your nutrition. It's much bigger than cryptocurrency. Thursday, we do a cryptocurrency call with technical analysis. I show my exact portfolio, exactly what I'm doing in the quantum financial system. Also, we have a crypto Discord with over 300 warriors worldwide helping each other out with people much smarter than me. I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. I'm just documenting my journey as we navigate into the new quantum financial system and trying to help as many people as possible see the light. Warriors, rise. Let's go. Everything's in the description.